Hey everybody, this is Ed, My Figure Universe, and this week on Boosting the Signal, I have a man that probably doesn't need an introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. You know him because of the toys that made us. You know him because of the movies that made us. You know him because of, well, the center seat. Hopefully, you know him from that. It's Brian Volk Weiss. Oh yeah, you know him from Nacelle. How you doing, sir?
I'm all right. Thank you for having me on. I love your
Oh,
background.
oh, appreciate it. Thanks for being here. I Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, I'm focusing on your movies, and it's like when I think of you, I'll be honest with you, the first thing I think of is your directing. I know you have Nacelle toys, and I'm excited about the Star Trek toys, but I think about the first introduction that I had to you, first time I saw your name was probably on the Toys That Made Us, followed up by I'd say Silent but Deadly with Kevin Smith. I remember seeing your name on that and going, hey, I know that name. But no, glad you're here. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I am, it's funny. I always say lately, last few years, I'm having like a Benjamin Button career. So many people I know are like either bored with what they do or can't find work and all this stuff, really dark stuff. But I'm very blessed. We're having the opposite. People are always, I'm turning 50 next year, and people are like, you starting to think retirement and all? And I'm like, 15 years ago I was. It was pretty tough back then. Now it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. It's finding your second path in life later in life is good. I'll be 50 soon myself as well, so I understand, and like I started thinking about what I wanted to do, and it came down to this. I was like, let's help others if I can. Let's get that signal out, boost them up, and even like today, I don't really think you need my help much, but I really enjoy
Oh,
wanting to
we
talk to
do.
you.
We do, man. We do. That's why I'm so grateful. You've been there. It's funny. We get a lot of people doing comments and everything, and we're so grateful for all of it. But you have done so many, and from day one, and you've just been absolutely wonderful to us. So we absolutely need and are appreciative of all the 50,000 person account, a 10,000 person account, a 32 person account.
Yeah.
It really, as cheesy as it is, it really does all add up.
Well, every like counts, every word counts, and
Yeah,
I, I have to say I have nothing but positivity towards every product I've seen that you put out.
thank you.
And I look forward to the Star Trek figures, especially because I came for Star Trek, but I stayed for everything else. Now
All right.
I am curious. We know a lot about the figures, and I know you've got New York City Comic Con coming up, and I will probably put this out before New York City Comic Con, unless you say something, and then I'll put it out after if you accidentally spoil anything, just in case. But I am curious about a couple of things about the figures that I've been wanting to ask you face to face, just to get an answer on. So I'm going to do it today.
Fire
All
away.
right.
I'm here.
Wave one of the figures, you've already established that they would not have stands,
Right.
but I'm curious, will we have peg holes for stands?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that was one of my bigger questions. I've been wanting to know, like, if there is a type of stand we could look for to possibly have to go with these ahead of time. Um,
Ed, you probably know this about me because we're friends on social media. I'm a pretty straightforward guy
yeah.
that leans towards bluntness. I have over 5,000 toys in my collection. I don't know a goddamn thing about stands.
Okay.
The only stand I ever bought, went out of my way to buy, was because my vintage He-Man figures kept falling over. And I asked a friend of mine about it, and he told me a special place that makes special stands for He-Man. That is all I know about stands. But I can tell you, our figures have peg holes, and they are deep. One of
Sweet.
my things I can't stand is when they make the holes smaller than the pegs.
No, no, I
So
get that.
yeah,
No,
they
I
but
get
but
that.
it's like a traditional sized hole, so it should work for any stand.
All right. I have another question about Wave One. I've seen
Okay.
the packaging on Wave One, and I see that there is they're all uniform with the red color and the design, with the exception of what show is represented. When Wave Two and Three come out, is it in your mindset to have them uniform with Wave One or a different color?
There'll be a different color.
Okay.
Yeah,
I,
every wave. It's funny. There's an idea that I had that I was as it relates to the packaging that unfortunately I was not allowed to do, which is fine. You know, Paramount, we could not be a better partner. We couldn't ask for a better partner, and I don't have to say that. But it's true. But I had I'll tell you what it was. No reason not to. I wanted every wave. I wanted the packaging to be based on vintage packaging. So
okay.
wave one would have been like Mego packaging. Wave two would have been like Galoob packaging from Star Trek 3, yada yada yada.
Oh, okay.
But Paramount, and I believe they were right, Paramount A really wanted a uniform look within the waves, and two, because next year is the 60th, they really wanted a lot of what we're doing to sync up with all the celebrations that they have planned. But they will look. It's funny. I just got the Wave 2 artwork yesterday, and it is similar but different.
I have to say that was one of the last minute questions that came to my mind last night while I was laying in bed thinking about this. It's like I gotta ask about the packaging, and um, yeah, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to, especially with the 60th anniversary coming up, and the uniform. I can imagine with them if there is shelf space available in stores, you want to have them be able to be interchangeable with. I get that. I get it. I can
Yeah,
see where they're
but
going with this.
but that said, not all, but a lot of the boxes are different sizes.
Yeah, the accessories.
Valkrys's box is probably twice the size of Tuvix's. Captain Kirk's box will be twice the size of anyone else.
That makes sense. I didn't think about the width. That's a good call. And the depth, because
Yeah,
you'd have, yeah, a
yeah,
horse
no,
is going to be
Kirk's going
pretty
to be
big.
huge.
Um, I'd seen recently Crusher Combo, Jesse at Crusher Combo had posted when she had seen you in Salt Lake City, Utah, and you had given her some information, and she made sure to pass along the Cisco figure information. I was really pleased about that. And so I don't really need to touch on that except to say, loving everything I'm hearing, looking forward to all things Cisco, of course. Is there anything you can tell us that we may possibly see at New York City Comic Con?
I mean, yes, and I mean no, because the whole point of these New York Comic Cons is, or not New York, but the whole point of these things is to. By the way, if this is going to come out after New York Comic Con, yes. If it's coming out before New York Comic Con, no. If it's coming out before New York Comic Con, I can tell you we have a lot that's being announced. A lot.
If
We
you say
actually
something that you want to, if you would like to, give me some teasers, I will hold off until the 13th. Then it would be after New York City Comic Con.
Okay, so we'll do this after New York Comic Con?
We will definitely do this after New York City Comic Con.
Okay. So if this is, and I'm trusting you here, Ed.
I promise.
But also just one thing I will tell you, because I've learned this the hard way, everything I'm saying now, of course, is subject to change.
Yes, sir.
But I doubt it will. So the first thing, so Wave 2 is going to go on sale on the day of our panel. So I should probably know that date, but I don't. But I think it's around October 9th. So yeah, so Wave 2 is going to go on sale. We are going to have the second Wave 3 reveal, which is Spock.
Sweet.
So we're going to have the Spock reveal. We have a tease for that, I think, on Thursday. We are, what else? Trying to think. There's one thing I cannot tell you because there's a third partner involved that I can't fuck with.
Well, by the time
Um,
we were watching this, I'll know. So,
yeah, I'm just worried if it doesn't get announced. Yeah. That I can't talk. We have a. Here's what I can allude to. Here's
okay,
what I can allude to. Because even if we don't announce it at New York Comic Con, this will be a tease, but I won't get in any trouble. Um, there is likely, highly likely, a a let me put it this way. As of now, the public knows we are putting out two waves in 2026, right?
right.
There is a good chance we are putting out three waves in
Wow,
2026. And the new wave will be the biggest wave we have done ever as a company.
interesting.
So it'll be the most amount of figures. And there is another part of it um, that I think will make people very happy.
I look forward to that. I know New York City Comic Con. I won't be there, but I will be sending a representative to be there at the panel. And my friend Jason, you met him in Chicago. So by the time this airs, you have
Yeah,
already
I
seen
remember
him.
him.
Yeah, he'll be bringing you. He's going to drop you off some stickers. I sent some stickers with him. We saw him the other day, and I made sure to leave some stuff with him because he was going to New York. So you'll have that
Oh,
by the
good.
time this airs.
I
But
love stickers. But
well, you
no, I
know,
just one other thing I can tell you, I
yes.
totally forgot, but I have my handy dandy New York Comic Con cheat sheet here. I forgot about. Um, we will also be revealing, and this might be a toy industry first. We're going to reveal an accessory
Sweet.
before we reveal the figure.
Ooh,
Um, but let's see how good you like guessing games,
I
Ed.
love guessing games.
Let's see if you can figure out this accessory.
Okay.
The accessory is based on something that after they filmed the scene required a broom.
Well, then I'm going to assume broken glass.
Yep,
I'll say Star Trek First Contact, Picard's Ready Room.
indeed. So we're gonna have we're gonna reveal the actual the what's called a painted master of the ships, and it's a pretty cool accessory because um, there's a before and after.
Well, that's going to be
So
interesting.
you can display it perfectly with all the ships looking gorgeous, or you can display it with the glass shattered and the ships all fucked up.
I like that. That's really good. So, are we looking forward to a what's in the box at New York City Comic Con?
No, we
Oh,
will have that at Toy Fair in
okay.
February, and I'll tell you this right now, that will be when we announce the reveal of the mysterious two-pack in Wave 3.
Yeah, I'm still curious about that. I've seen a lot of really good guesses out there. I have to say the let this be your last battlefield is probably my favorite guess that I have seen.
Listen, normally I would never do this, but everybody is guessing that.
Yeah.
So I will jump up and down and tell you that it is not what it is.
Well, see that makes me even more curious. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's a great one. I'm not really sure how it would go over in today's society, whether than with Star Trek fans, but I'm curious and I look forward to it. I do have a couple of questions I like to ask people when they're on here. I would love to know, and this is probably a long one. We know a lot about your past and your love of Star Trek and the figures, but what's your Star Trek story? What brought you to the franchise? What caught your attention and brought you into the universe?
Um, I mean, the non-specific answer is my mom.
Okay.
I remember, it's weird, man. I vividly remember my mom telling me about Star Trek years before I would see it. And one of the things I remembered she said that caught my attention, and I mean, I was probably 5 years old at the maybe even younger. Um, but I remembered she was telling me all about what it was. And the only specific, I remember the conversation, I know where we were, but the only detail I remember was she said that Uhura came from the United States of Africa.
Okay.
And for some reason, that really stuck in my head, and I thought it was really cool. So that was technically the beginning. But the real connection was Wrath of Khan. I
Okay.
saw it in the theaters. Which, my mom used to always say for the rest of her life, had she known about the SETI eel, I would not have been in that movie theater. But I will tell you this. I mean, to this day, I do believe that to be one of the most disturbing things in any movie. It's one of the really odd things about Wrath of Khan that no one ever talks about. It
Well,
is not only the most violent Star Trek movie ever, probably the most violent Star Trek anything. Um, but like it's like so like out of place for for the rest of the movie, but it works.
have you been listening to the Con podcast?
Not yet, not yet.
I'm no spoilers, but your love of the eel and your thing here about the eel, you're really gonna love this podcast.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
trust me. It's
I'm
solid. Probably one of the best things that I have heard. I mean, I had no faith in this whatsoever, and I just started listening, and it's like I want more. Like I want more. Um,
great.
so I'm
Okay.
hoping I would love to see a live action personally,
Oh wow. Okay.
but
Yeah, no, I will be I try to wait for everything to be out before because I just want to binge it.
yeah,
So
I get that.
but that might be a Thanksgiving thing before I get
They
to it.
um they end up casting the one lady from For All. You ever watch For All Mankind?
Oh, sure, sure.
Okay,
A plus show.
okay. One of the redhead lady from that show. I can't remember her character name, but she's playing Marla McGivers,
Oh,
and
wow.
so well done, so well done. Um, Now, could we see on the figures? You've teased Wave One within 100 days. Are we talking Christmas time?
It'll be before Christmas. It might be December 24th. But it'll be before Christmas. It is if people understood how, first of all, the relationship with the factories is the most bizarre business relationship of my entire career. There's no contract. There's literally
Right.
no contract. So you're sending six-figure wires across the Pacific to people you've never met, to a city that if it wasn't for the factory, you'd never heard of. I mean, it's really wild. So that's something. And then the bigger issue is the shipping.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw a couple weeks ago or 2 week less than 2 weeks ago, a huge cargo container ship literally dropped like almost 70 containers into the ocean.
Unfortunately, I saw
We
that.
we've had a ship with our Moo Mesa toys in it that's docked, but because that other ship lost those packages, they haven't been able to unload our ship.
Mm.
So it's like every single thing is like it's just so hard. So I'm very nervous, but as of now, we are 100% on schedule to be here before Christmas.
All right. Well, that sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. I know when mine arrive, I'm going to do an entire episode of just opening them and checking them out. It's yeah, no guest that week. It's just going to be the figures. They are the guest. But
Thank you
yeah,
in advance.
yeah, it's really looking forward to that. And the overseas thing with, excuse me, with companies, if I may, I have an independent toy maker I know that made these, and they're like
Nice.
ghosts of Indiana Jones and Superman. And I have heard many times how many troubles he has gone through with factories, even stealing molds and then selling them, and just the insane crazy things that happen over there. And losing money because of theft. So yeah, my heart definitely goes out to anybody that's being affected by that, by you being affected by the cargos and everything else. It's not bad. It's not good. I mean, it's not good at all. So, but I don't know how much more time I have with you here, but
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I'm good for another about 25 minutes.
oh, okay. Well, then I'm going to ask a couple more questions I've had set aside. Um, okay, so we're going to go outside of Star Trek. Okay.
Okay, I can do it.
And I'm curious, what is the one thing that you collect that would surprise even people that just casually know you?
Well, my first answer, I don't know if this would surprise people or not who know me, but I'll
Okay.
give it to you. But I know there's stranger. But I am obsessed. I have an entire shelf. I have multiple shelves dedicated. I have an entire collection dedicated to Standard Oil paraphernalia.
Mm.
And it's a very, very, very hard thing to collect because first of all, Rockefeller, which is weird because if you take into account inflation, he's the richest human who's ever lived. He built the first conglomerate. Like what he built is directly related to how Google operates, how um, SpaceX operates, you know? No one had ever built a company like it. There was nothing even close. And he had a really bizarre, he thought marketing was like cheating. So because he had this attitude, which to marketing, which lasted past his death, um, there is very, very I mean, it was a 80-year-old company. So you would think, somebody who did a Coca-Cola collection would probably need a 200,000 square foot museum that wouldn't even cover 1% of all the marketing Coca-Cola's done. There is I would say I probably have 80% of any Standard Oil anything. I might even, for all I know, have the biggest Standard Oil collection on Earth, for all I know. But it's very easy to do because there's very little to collect.
It
So that would probably be the most random thing I collect. But I also collect, okay, here's a good one.
okay.
Because people who know me probably wouldn't be surprised that I collect that. Here's something people would be surprised. Food related stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
So
McDonald's toys.
no, I'm not even talking about that. That's in a separate section, actually.
Oh, okay.
So that's funny. I'm not even talking about that. I have um just to think of it, I have one of the and I paid $50 for this like a year or two ago. I have a mint condition. Do you remember McDonald's did this burger that like it was like Jason Alexander did the commercial and it was like the cool side's cool, the hot side's hot.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It was the McBLT.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember those because yeah, they
So
had the
like
styrofoam containers.
yes, and that's why they stopped making it, by the way. It was a huge hit, huge. But they stopped because that was right when the environmental movement got real
Yeah.
strong. So I have an entire shelf. I'll give you another example. I'm so excited. No one's ever asked me this before. I went to last year the premiere of Beverly Hills Cop 4.
No, that's a good
And
movie.
at the premiere, they were giving away these tiny little pizzas that came in these tiny little pizza boxes that said Beverly Hills Cop 4 on them. So I have an entire mini collection in my collection of crap like that.
That's kind of
There's
cool
a
though.
transforming ketchup bottle you may have seen. It's literally a
Uh,
ketchup bottle that becomes a spaceship. It's an official Heinz product, by the way. They made
okay.
it. It is bonk. If you're not familiar, go to YouTube and watch a video on it. It lights up. It makes sound effects. It literally look if you didn't know what it was, you wouldn't look at it twice. It looks like a completely accurate ketchup bottle
I'll
from like
definitely have
10
to
feet
look that
away.
up.
And then it transforms into a spaceship. So I have an
Man,
entire collection of that kind of stuff.
you mentioned Standard Oil, and the first thing I thought about was my dad. My dad was a classic car collector, and he collected anything of car paraphernalia and such, um, and Coca-Cola products. Because you made me chuckle when you talked about a large museum. He had two large warehouses built in his backyard to hold the antique cars, the car parts, his Coca-Cola collection, and he had and I believe my stepmother still has them all, but I don't know what she sold off. But he had a lot of old signs, like signage from that, like everything from the 1930s, 40s on, and it just progressed through the years. Neon signs that he would have um, fixed to where they would work. When the Standard Oil, I cannot remember that. I can't claim that he had it, but if I ever find a picture of one of those, or I'll go visit and I'll see what he's got, I'll send you pictures because
I love that.
you never know. But it's something that caught my attention because yeah, I know exactly what that is. And same with the Coca-Cola products. Like I remember, man, it was 2020, like right before the pandemic had started. I had called my stepmother and I said, "Can I come down and take some pictures of the Coke stuff because I had a Coke bear. I wanted to get some good photos with it." And she's like, "Yeah, come on down." But then it was like the next week we got the stay at home, and I'm like, "All right, well, I'll come down afterwards." I still haven't gone and done it. I've kind of lost interest and need that picture, but yeah, because there was like so much Coca-Cola products, and I know my mom's probably listening to this right now, and she's saying it was all mine, it was all mine. So, but but
That's funny.
yeah, yeah, she knew I was gonna talk to you, and she kept asking me. She's like, "Oh, well, did his family make jewelry?" And I was like, "I don't think so, Mom." And because she's your last name, apparently there's a jewelry maker out there that uses Volk Weiss as from like we're talking like eons ago. And
Oh,
I was like, I've never heard of it. I said, I'm very certain that you're not, but I told her I would talk
yeah,
about it. So
I gotta look into it. Yeah, my last name is a combination of my parents' names.
oh, okay. Well,
Um,
maybe it's just a weird coincidence. I my
yeah.
my name doesn't pop up very often. If it does, it's you know nothing ever good. Irish bands. So, but that's about it. But you never know. But no, I appreciate that. I love hearing what other people collect. You never know what somebody is into, and that's something that you obviously have a passion for. So I love hearing that and knowing that.
No one has ever asked me this before. Can I tell you one more? I
Sure.
never
Yeah.
get to
Yeah. Of
talk
course.
about this, and I know this is a little edgy, but like I said, I never get to talk about this.
Okay.
So uh, let me preface this by saying I am married to an Asian woman.
Okay.
I mean, and I have two sons that I think people would be shocked to hear have a white father.
Okay.
That's how Asian they look. Now that I've said that caveat, yeah, man, dude, there was this cereal in the late 50s, early 60s, and it's just a regular cereal, whatever. But it might have even been like cornflakes or something.
Mhm.
Like, but they, the way Tony the Tiger and, the Snapple, Crack and Pop and all that, this cereal came up with a mascot whose name was Sohai.
Okay.
And Sohai was the most cliched Asian looking Japanese man you've ever seen. He had a rickshaw, he had the big hat, big straw hat, like I mean the most cliched Asian stereotype you could ever have. And I have it was a free giveaway that like when you bought the cereal, you put your hand in and it's a plastic model on the tree
Hmm.
that you can pop out the pieces and make your own little model of Sohai pulling the rickshaw. So
Interesting.
I have it in my collection. I have the instructions. I have the whole model completely on the tree, so it's perfect. But here's why it's so edgy. Are you ready?
Okay.
Do you know why his name was so high?
So, no.
Because he was only so high.
Oh,
So that is in my food collection. And
I
now
love
you
it.
know why I went out of my way to tell you the ethnicity of my wife.
No, no, I get it. And asking the questions that nobody else would ask. That's what I'm trying. I want people to get to know you. It's boosting your signal. We all know your company. We know the films, and we love the films and the TV shows. And I'm really getting into the icons
Oh,
show.
great.
It was something I
Thank
had
you.
never touched on. I didn't even realize it was something you had done until like I didn't get Prime until last year. Like I literally just never did Prime, and then I got it, and I was like, I looked up Nacelle one day, and I saw that center seat was on there. Which, by the way, first of all, this is the way to have it, and all the extra stuff is on the
Yeah.
DVD. It's like I love it digitally, but the DVD has got all the extra stuff, especially the third disc,
Well,
or
and
fourth
sorry
disc.
to interrupt, but you know why we did that? It
No.
it really I want to make sure I don't come off like an asshole the way I say this, but like here's how I'll say it. Like, I feel like I'm this kind of I feel like I kind of operate in two worlds. Like there's like if I were a dentist in Montana, I would probably still have my toy collection.
Okay.
If I was a dentist in Montana, I would still probably collect the props that I collect and everything, right? But I'm not a dentist in Montana. I own a production company in Hollywood. And so I feel like I'm like almost like a representative of who I was 20 years ago, where I get to go in these rooms and these meetings and meet these people and do these things. And I just feel like not an obligation, but I feel a responsibility um, to share this stuff.
Right.
And there are things in my toy collection that it pains me that nobody gets to see them but me or my guests. Like I have some real, I'll tell you something to give you an example. I have this glass jar. It's about that thick, that wide, has black tape, kind of like a zebra, black, clear, all around it. Um, and that thing that I bought at an auction was filled with this kind of clear, viscous liquid with shiny stuff in it, spun around, filmed from the side, and that's what did the transporter
I
effect for 7 seasons of Next Gen and the pilot of Deep Space Nine.
I love it.
So I hate that I have that and nobody gets to see it. So that's my logic. So I knew we had the last interview with Leonard Nimoy. Why wouldn't we share that with the whole world? So and we do that. So, like Icons on Earth, we got the first real interview ever with Marsha Lucas. Dude, 4.5 hour interview. She had never done an interview before, ever.
Wow.
I always feel the need to do the caveat. Yes, she talked to like the Modesto Times in 1978, but she hadn't done anything since. So again, I feel an obligation or a responsibility to share that with the world because it's like, why should we be the only people that have all that knowledge? So that's to your point about center seat. That's why we just put everything on it. So Kirstie Alley's interview.
Yeah.
She
Well,
never did that. She literally,
every every interview on disc 4, none of these people are with us anymore.
yeah. Is that
You know,
right? I never even
everybody.
thought of that.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
never. Who's on this for? It's been a while.
disc 4. You've got Leonard Nimoy. You have Nichelle Nichols and Kirstie
Yeah,
Alley. Yeah.
yeah,
They're all
yeah,
gone, and
yeah.
it's like, to me, it's like, digital's not forever. I know, people love their digital, but like physical. I remember when I got this, like the first time I ever had a communication with you online was I bought it. I remember posting it. It was on my personal account. It was long before I had the My Figure Universe, and I had shared it. And I remember tagging you. I had to like look up who is this guy. I'm like, so I look him up, my tag, and you click. I was like, hey, the director. Like telling my wife I was all excited about it, and then I start, rolling like a snowball trying to figure out more and more stuff. And I was like, I love this. I mean, no blowing smoke up your ass or anything. It's just well done, everything about it. And that's one thing I truly loved. And the icons is another example. Like I'm starting on The Simpsons because I was like, it's great. And this does lead me to wonder, have you ever gotten or do you still get starstruck?
You know, I have always gotten starstruck by strange people. So like I had breakfast, I posted this, so it's not a big thing, but like yeah, I had breakfast with Arnold Schwarzenegger last week. I, I I I would have to guess he's probably my favorite actor of all time. And was not starstruck. Um, did you watch The Expanse?
I have watched. I'm up to season two, maybe almost three. Just almost getting ready to
So
go to three.
so the big bad guy,
Yeah,
Mal?
right.
I saw that actor walk in one day in a mall, and you would have thought it was Jesus Christ. Like I could not believe. I mean, I literally like almost fucking tackled him. Like I love the band. Not, I probably shouldn't admit this with a camera recording, but I do love the band Bush.
Okay.
And yeah, I saw Gavin Rossdale once at a restaurant, and yeah, but I've met The Rock. I've been to Kevin Hart's house many times. Like, doesn't affect me at all. It's these
Right.
weird, like, yeah. When I met, I forget his name, but the guy who plays Peter Preston, that
Okay.
was in a weird way weirder to be around than William Shatner.
That's man, never think of his name off the top of my head. But yeah, I gotcha. Um, yeah, no, I've always like I met Bobby Brown one time, and I mean, I've met a few celebrities, but I always use Bobby Brown as my example because I'm old enough to have listened to his music when I was a kid and then see him, later as an adult. So whatever. But I treat him just like a normal guy, and he was a normal guy. That's like Kevin Federline, of all people. He gets a lot of crap. Terrible individual, they say, whatever. Nicest guy I've ever met. One of the
Yeah,
nicest people I've ever met. And you never know. Treat everybody like like they're regular people. I think ultimately that's all we want. But
yeah,
unless you're The
for the
Rock,
most part,
I think
yeah.
The Rock wants people to cheer him, but I don't know.
I there's no connection I have found. Well, I will say this. It does seem to me the more successful people are, the cooler they are.
Yeah,
Maybe they just don't have that stress or anger about not getting to where they wanted to go. I don't know. But like, I mean, The Rock, who we do up a whole bunch of stuff with, I mean, he's exactly what you would think he is. Yeah, it's always it's these people right in the middle between no one knows who they are and a huge celebrity. Those are usually the people they got like a little chip on their shoulder sometimes. And like you're like, I just talked to The Rock, who said do whatever you want. And you're asking for a 50-page rider with no green M&Ms. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, so it is interesting.
yeah. Well, it's a good dichotomy there. I like that. That's good thoughts, and I appreciate all of your input. I do not want to take up a lot of your time. Otherwise, I could have you here probably all
Yeah,
day.
yeah. No, let's wrap it up like 2 minutes or so. I want to tell you something when we're done too.
Okay. Well, I will. Thank you. It's kind of a weird thing to ask you, but do you want to tell anybody where to find you and what to follow?
I am on Instagram, pretty much Instagram under my own name. There's the Nacelle Company is on all social media and everything. I am technically on Facebook, but I never ever ever look at it. So,
I click like on a few things every now and then, and it's
well, what I post on Instagram goes on Facebook, so people think I'm on it. But
Uh,
like if people DM me on Facebook, I probably check that mailbox maybe twice a year.
I get that. I get that. Well, I appreciate your time. I really do. And I look forward to everything that by the time this airs, I've already seen at New York City Comic Con. And thank you everybody for watching. And yeah, all right. And live long and prosper.
May your journey be free of incident.